This week's topic came from Jeff, who wanted to know how to embrace the awkward feelings of change, which means, as you guessed it, this week's topic is about the awkwardness of change. So, in the first video, I talked about a time when I experienced change and it was hard. In the next video, I talked about a time I was trying to change and I recognized the awkward feeling. In this video, I'm focusing on a time I embraced change. The following video will be the meditation, and then you'll see the Fridity or the Friday Ditty, where I pull it all together and get a little more poetic or parable-ish and a little bit nerdy and make sense of the journey. All the videos will appear in the playlist, The Awkwardness of Change. So, if you have a question like Jeff did, comment below or DM me on Instagram. I'm Angela, and this is me making sense of myself. The question I'm starting with today is, when was a time you embraced change? When was a time I embraced change? I feel like change is when I think I embrace change when I choose it. And it's a lot harder to embrace it when I don't choose it. So I'm going to say a time I embraced change was when one of my daughters moved out, the other daughter moved into another room, and we put my stuff in this room. And I was super excited. Like, yeah, maybe a little bit nervous to see how it was going to turn out, would everything fit the way I wanted it to, but overall, I think it was, I'm wondering if there's a time I've embraced change when it was hard. Okay, I've got a thought here. There was a time when I was mostly in a wheelchair. Like I couldn't walk, I still can't walk super long distances, but back then, like a few steps was more than enough. So what I did, I knew I wanted to be able to walk more. And what we did was my caregiver and I would go to the park and I would walk and sit. So I would walk for a little bit as she pushed the chair, and then I would sit and she would push the chair while I was sitting in it. And over, I don't even know, it feels like it was a long time. I know it was a long time. So over this long period of time, I don't know if it was a year or longer than a year, slowly things started to change. And I remember being afraid at first that everyone was judging me for practicing walking. And as I came up on them, they started cheering me on. So I think that sometimes we get these ideas, and at least I get these ideas in my head of what I believe other people might be thinking, and that's not always true. So I think embracing that was, that was the time. So the next question is actually, how did you embrace the awkwardness of change? I think it's a matter of just walking through it, being afraid and doing it anyway. Because, I have this saying right now, like when I started this channel, hey, I posted my first video and I didn't die, or I'll try something else new. And it's like, well, I didn't die today, or I didn't die doing that. So maybe I'll be okay. I know that's probably, at least for me, that's a comical way to look at it, is like, oh, I'm going to do something new. Oh, I didn't die. Okay, maybe that's okay. Maybe this is good. And I find it is a way to lighten the load, or a way to embrace change. Like, I'm going to try this new thing and, we'll see what happens. How is the world better? Because you can embrace the awkwardness of change. That's a good question. How is the world better? Because I can embrace the awkwardness of change. Well, I'm willing to try things out and do new things, and sometimes they take off. Sometimes the people around me get excited because they know that they can make these changes as well, or they can participate with me. So I think that makes the world a better place, because now we're all doing it together. It's not just me and it's not just them. It's like, okay, we got this. The next question is, what would you say is the most important skill to embrace the awkwardness of change? I actually think the most important skill is connecting with and letting other people know what I'm doing and bringing them along for the ride, so that they can, when I start to get nervous or afraid, or I've got a feelings wheel next to me, horrified maybe, or appalled, or I'm embarrassed because it didn't turn out the way I thought it would. Now I've got people on my team that will be willing to help lift me up and help me keep going and remind me what my goals are. So I would love to hear from you. When have you embraced the awkward feeling that comes with change? These videos will be located in the playlist, The Awkwardness of Change, and I'm Angela, and this is me making sense of myself. See you next time.